All right.
Ha ha.
And here we go. Last time we visited Danoth, our fledgling adventurers had just finished clearing out a bandit camp and set free many captured townsfolk imprisoned within. Spirits were low, and many of the civilians were left exhausted and haunted by their experiences. Seeing this, the party set to work scrounging through crates and boxes of looted goods to pull out whatever food and supplies they could find. Eventually, with some minor assistance from Vint, Valor was able to put together a hearty meal, putting life back into the townspeople. Once everyone was fully rested, the party ventured back to Murstone, making good time thanks to Vint's lead. Whereupon, the party was greeted with open arms by Murstone's mayor. Meanwhile, Captain Caro, harrowed by the whole situation, was brought back to rest and recuperate, leaving the party stuck on Murstone for a bit longer. But the next morning still promised more mysteries to discover, so after getting some information from Nafia, Vint went off to investigate the priest, while the rest of the party headed off to the prison to interrogate their 3 prisoners. Thanks to the intimidating aura of Azure, 2 of the bandits broke down and spilled as much as they could, infuriating the pirate into spilling some secrets of his own. Things were going swimmingly until Azure made the mistake of claiming Amican allegiance. Whereupon the imprisoned pirate stated that Amica were the ones to hire them. This was an enlightening revelation in no small part because of the glowing rapier that found itself magically lodged in the pirate's chest. Funny that. Wonder how that got there. This was not what the prison guard asked the party to do, but as Valor hurried Azure off for a private conversation, we continue our story on Vint. Vint, you are nearby the church, looking for the priest.
Mm-hmm.
The priest is outside. It's still early in the morning, I believe around 10 or so. You spent a bit of time eating breakfast, conversation, moving about, and obviously the prison scene itself took up a bit of time, but it seems that the priest is currently ushering some townsfolk into the church for morning congregation. Nothing really out of the ordinary.
I'll just, if any of the windows are like open or broken a little, I'll make sure I'm posted up close enough so that I can hear inside, but not see in.
This is a decent church. It's not as grand as anything you've seen in Dawnbreak with the stained glass, massive, imposing windows, but it's decent, especially for a small port town. The windows are clear enough and clean enough that you can see inside. And after a while, the congregation filters in, and it looks as though the priest is just giving the morning sermon. You can see behind him, behind his altar, or his pew, I suppose is what it's called. I'm not religious minded, so I gotta remember these terms a bit. But you can see behind him is what looks to be a grand pedestal of sorts. Left empty. What is your next move?
I'm just gonna keep tabs on the guy for as long as I can today. We don't have anything pressing as far as Vint's aware, so he's just gonna stick close to the priest and stay generally out of sight.
Just let me note that down real quick. All right. So you're basically gonna get secondhand religion from this, and while
We
that goes
burst
on,
into flames.
Galena is very displeased that you're watching the sermon of the god of order or goddess of order. But returning back to the prison,
Is she pleased by the fact that it's putting him to sleep?
oh, absolutely. She's just looking at that and is like, that's my champion. Attaboy. All right, moving back to the prison. Valor, you are ushering Azure outside. Tsalia, are you trying to kind of follow them, or are you trying to, you know?
I will let Valor handle this. Valor is definitely the most parental figure in all of this.
Okay.
Better at what's the word?
Therapy.
Let's just go with that. Therapy than Tsalia is.
Fane and Winston are gonna stick by you, Tsalia, and basically give the two their moment. You can tell though that Fane does feel a bit troubled. But we will touch on that in a bit as we focus on the two Dragonborn.
This is a horrible. Still finishing my sandwich.
Eat sandwich faster.
I'm done.
Choo, choo, choo.
Shove in the mouth and swallow.
Uh,
I mean, that's why you gotta train your gag reflex.
I get reflexes. That's all.
actually, bouncing back to Vince.
Oh my god!
Real quick, Vin. You've been around the block for Dawnbreak quite some time. How often would you say that Vint has had any sort of dealings with churches? Would it be enough that he... I know he's not a religious character. He's not someone who follows gods very closely. But I imagine he would have had a couple jobs, would he not?
I mean, if he was hired to steal from him, yeah.
Churches got a
Otherwise,
lot of
he,
expensive shit in them.
Yeah, there's a lot of expensive shit in them, so
Just
he might have.
real quick, give me a religion check.
I have only a plus. What the fuck?
The plus, what the fuck?
Plus
Plus two.
Plus 2 is better than a minus 2.
No, it's not.
Apparently not. Apparently not. Yeah, you know, you don't really notice anything unusual in how it's going about. It's just a fucking sermon. It's a boring ass sermon, just like anything else you've experienced.
Was it a decade ago when I was last in one of these buildings?
Okay.
I finished my sandwich.
All right. Then we're moving back to you.
All right, it's time for the yelling.
It's time for the shouting match.
Um,
Everyone is outside. I imagine you've hurried Azure off to a distant corner away from the main group.
yeah, probably a little bit. It's never fun to get yelled at in front of people.
Oh, absolutely not.
No comment.
Hi, your friendly DM Sparky here, and you might be wondering why I'm jumping in like this. Well, you've probably noticed by now that these sessions have been recorded far in advance. And one unfortunate byproduct of that is when we realized that Azure's mic had failed to pick up in the recordings, it was already too late. Unfortunately, there's going to be a few more recordings like that, but thankfully that issue has long since been ironed out at time of me making this message. That being said, there are a few noticeable issues with that. For brevity, because of some very important moments, or at least very important things that were said, at least by Valor, I'm going to be trimming down some dead air segments. So rather than, say, 5 minutes of dead air, it's going to just be a few seconds between Valor and then, well, Valor again. I apologize for this. I'm sure while it might be a little bit goofy to see the cast talk to no one and laugh at a joke that no one made, I really don't think it makes for a good storytelling. As stated, it's been ironed out by now, but bear with us. And thank you for your patience. Enjoy the rest of the session.
Valor pulls Azure off into this area and kind of notices that he's not wholly there at this point in time, and kind of gives Azure a small shake and tries to get his attention. Just, Azure, I need you, I need you out of your own head. Azure, why did you do that? Valor has this moment of, oh boy. He hesitates for a second in response. Before he kind of trudges on and Azure, I need you to take a couple deep breaths. And I need you to get your mind currently out of wherever it is at the moment. Do you want a hug? What's going on? What's up? Hey. Azure. Valor's got this tone as he speaks. He's got this tone of slight frustration. He wants it's this tone of he's trying to be gentle, but there is some clear other emotion leaking through as he's trying to figure out what to say in this moment. Azure. And Valor puts a hand on Azure's shoulder to try and help ground him. Azure, I want you to look at me. Azure, that's not going to happen again. Do you want to know why I say that? Because we're here, and we know of it ahead of time. Because that's what we are. Because that's what our contracts have us do. It is because that is why we joined in this To begin with, Azure, a situation similar to this, a situation similar to yours, is why I am here. We will do anything in our power to stop it. If you can't see this again, Azure, currently you're not alone. You at least have the three of us. We've had some companions join us. We might not have known each other for long, but even if we are here together on a job, we are still here together. Second, if you cannot handle seeing this again, if you cannot handle the possibility of running into this, of attempting to stop it, then why are you here? If you can't let this happen, so you're here to help stop it. Yes?
Badoop.
Then why, may I ask? Are you falling to this weakness? It is something to grieve, it is something to mourn, and it is something that everyone has the right to do. But if you're here to stop anything like this, if you are here on this want to end this, then why are you losing the strength? Then why are you losing the strength to try and stop it? Why is there hesitation? Which is understandable. All of us are afraid at some point. You can't let that fear control you. You can't let it control your actions, Azure. You know why I pulled you over here? Azure. You did. You made a mistake, a big one. One that thankfully didn't cost you because of our actions beforehand. But think of what would have happened if you did that and the town did not have as much gratitude as they do. How would you feel if you were unable to help stop this? If you were sitting in a jail cell, Azure?
Valor takes a breath. One that is a little shaky, but he's trying to hold back emotion.
Any action you take, no matter how large or how small it is,
will always have consequences that follow, whether they be good or bad. And you have to think, even beyond your fear, even beyond your pain, how it might affect your goals in the future, and how it might affect those around you, Azure. I'm not saying your fear and your pain is valid, but you cannot let it blindly control your life and your actions. And he hesitates a little bit, but moves on to say, "You're not going to like this statement from me, Azure, but not only did your actions nearly cost you your ability to help, but that man didn't deserve to die in that moment, Azure." He didn't. And Valor's hands are kind of shaking at this point. But he still has one of his hands resting on Azure's shoulder. He was locked up. He had nowhere to go. No one who would help him. And no one he could hurt. There was no reason for him to die.
It is at this moment the guard walks out of the prison and takes a sweeping assessment of where the party is at this moment. Ah, good. You're all still here. And he turns to you, Tsalia. Everything's been cleaned up. Once I'm able to, I will explain everything.
Very good. Before you go, you didn't happen to notice if he had any unusual markings on his body, did you?
Aside from the hole in his chest, none.
Alright. I was hoping you might be able to find out some sort of identifying mark in case there were pirates in hiding.
If you're looking for marks, he did have a tattoo on the back of his neck. Probably an insignia of the crew he was part of.
Would you be able to draw it, perhaps?
Yes. Perhaps, here. Do you have a paper?
Tsalia begins patting herself down, seeing if she has any paper
Can we
whatsoever.
hear this conversation? Me and Azure?
Yes. I imagine Sully would have, a journal of sorts.
The only journal I have is my spell book.
You're a monster hunter. I'll give you a freebie. It's a journal. It's a fucking journal.
Oh no, like 5 copper or something.
Yeah. Oh no, it's 5 copper. Yeah. You give him your journal, and he flips through to a empty page. And to the best of his ability, he starts with what looks like...
He'd see a lot of horrifying undead monsters in there.
He ignores the fuck out of it. He's not equipped to deal with that shit. He's just town guard. You're the adventurer. You're the adventurer, not him. He ignores it.
He looks at page 2 and goes, I regret looking at this for longer than 2 seconds. Flip, 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 flip.
Basically. So he starts with what looks like a standard compass rose. And then before he can get to the center, that's when he starts drawing what looks to be what, to the best of his ability, is a rose.
Fascinating.
And then instead of north, south, east, west, the top is a V, where east would be is a G, bottom is an I, and where west would be is a, let me check my notes, is a... God, where is it? I had it.
VGI.
It was, yeah, VGI, and... Oh, there it is. L.
Interesting.
I'm gonna put that on a new page just so it's easier for me to find it.
I will make good use of this.
All right. Now, like I said, I can't let you guys back here, at least for a while. But
We understand.
I'm glad you were able to find some stuff out.
Well, it was a wealth of information, if short. Sorry to have caused you trouble.
As long as you don't cause me any more, it's fine.
I promise everyone here won't.
All right.
I'm not promising for Vint.
Well, I have some paperwork to fill out, so... Very well.
Goodbye.
I missed the joke.
Well, moving on from that.
Valor and
oh.
Azure still aren't done talking.
Okay,
Uh-oh.
all right. Okay, all right.
Oh,
Back to the depression.
Okay. We'll get to you soon, Vin.
Vint, what's a Vint?
What is a Vin? I do we have a Vin in this party?
I think it's north, actually, not Vint.
Oh shit!
Of course, the compass letters are our names.
Vint, Gazure, Ilor, Lasalia,
Lalia.
Lalia,
Lasagna.
Lalia,
Lasagna.
Lasagna.
Zagna.
The prison door shuts, and you are left back in the general ambience of the town. So, Valor and Azure, you have still more to say, apparently. Eat each other alive. Fucking kill each other, why don't you? I'm kidding.
Bunk.
Valor pulls out the steak I gave him.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
All Azure knows is fear. Um. Valor barely whispers this, a soft, kind of shaky tone. His hand is still on Azure's shoulder, less as a grip to keep him there and more as a slightly reassuring, or at least it was. And just in a quiet whisper, Valor just says, I don't like to see people die, Azure. I don't like to be the reason they die, Azure. There are small tears in the corner of Valor's eyes as he locks eyes with Azure and gives a soft, like a small smile, a small sad smile, and says, I also had to watch a tower burn. I was there when one of my friends in that town died in my arms. I know what that's like, Azure. I recognize what it's like and how it hurts. And because of that moment, because of that day, that's when I made my promise to help. I don't like seeing people die. And I don't want to have to be the reason they do. So I try everything in my power to stop it. Yeah, hugs!
Yeah, hugs! Woo!
Valor would definitely hug Azure back. Absolutely. Valor has not had a hug in years. And Valor would definitely let Azure control how long they stay like that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It does. Valor would, after Azure kind of lets go the hug, Valor would as well, and he takes a step back and takes another deep breath and just kind of I believe I can speak for both of us when I say we should probably rest a little.
I would say by this time it is around 11 a.m.
It's not noon.
So, if that's everything taken care of with that interaction, we're going to shift the camera back to Vint.
Oh, we don't get to go our separate ways? Okay.
Oh, you go your separate ways.
We go your separate ways. I'm pretty sure that's implied.
Well, I was gonna
Oh, you're gonna
walk
say
up.
one more thing?
Well, no, I was gonna if Azure is okay with it, Valor was going to walk away from Azure in this kind of moment of we should probably exist in separate spaces for the moment. Might be a good idea. He was gonna walk up to the other three and just be, I apologize for that. And his tone is really quiet. He doesn't speak louder than a whisper.
Fane kind of waves off the apology while Winston pulls you into a big old bear hug. Enough
No.
to kind of like, he like wraps his arms around you tight, just squeezes you, lifts you up so your feet are off the ground, and just like swings you side to side. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. You're fine. And sets you down, pats you on the shoulder, and then looks at Azure. Hugs are always available, buddy. Like this arm so wide.
Tsalia sidestep.
Oh, Tsalia, you want a hug too?
Tsalia sidesteps again.
Fane pats Winston on the shoulder, and if Valor would allow, Winston and Fane would follow along to wherever he goes.
He's finishing his painting. He needs to relax. He's like, I need to get my mind on this, off of this. I want to finish my artwork.
Winston and Fane would follow along just to kind of relax at the shoreline with you.
Mm-hmm.
Then Winston gets bored and finds the goblin.
And then I'm assuming Tsalia and Azure then head where? Like the inn, the library?
Honestly, I'm not sure where Tsalia would go. I got this new little thing. Where is the captain, actually?
The captain is on his ship.
I wonder if
He's back on the Drunken Beggar to recover.
I mean, I doubt he has any more information right now. I suppose Tsalia will retire to the tavern just to ruminate in her thoughts.
And Azure?
Where
After-
Azure moves off after the base.
Yeah. After their entire conversation, where does Azure head? What does Azure do? Kind of like in like a sitting room kind of area.
He starts singing blues.
Nafia would welcome any sort of assistance in teaching Squee. But Vint, I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
While you were outside the window, are you just trying to be super stealthy? Are you trying to be like casual? Are you like actively trying to hide and be out of sight here?
Like, I'm mainly just trying to listen as to what's going on in there. I'm not like looking is priority 2. So I'm definitely hiding as much out of sight as I can.
I mean, if he's just kind of listening, he could just be sitting below the windowsill, completely out of
Yeah.
sight. And I doubt he really needs to hide from people walking down the road.
Mhm. My intention was to kind of gauge if he was like standing there and like peering through the window, or if he was just like leaning up against the wall or anything like that. But after the hour has passed, the mass begins to exit the church, with the priest coming out last.
Mm-hmm.
He's all smiles, waving them off, and then he turns to go back inside, but pauses and steps to your side, basically,
Mm-hmm.
and leans over with a small wave to you, Vin.
You, what? I'm hiding. No stealth check. What the fuck?
You're just sitting by the window.
Yeah.
And that's why I was asking like what you were doing.
Mm-hmm.
But he does offer a wave. Hello, giving the sermon a listen.
Yeah.
You're always welcome inside.
It's a bit too far right now. Just trying to figure things out.
Perhaps you should figure out where your companion lingers at night. She seems to have a keen interest in my goings-ons for some reason.
Which one? Mafia? The Dragonborn lady?
Yes, the one with the skull paint.
Ah, yeah.
I was walking through the town one night and found her lingering in my steps.
It's pretty weird.
I would suggest you caution her against such activities in the future.
I'll stand up. Yeah. I'll go let her know right now. And I will start walking off, get around a corner, and just loop right back. Just as stealthily as I can loop back.
Give me a stealth check.
What the fuck is my plus? What is it now? What is it? +9?
I don't know. What is it?
Kingmaker.
By the way, this was... I meant to mention this at the end of last session, but I did mention how during the roleplay last session I was smiling basically the whole time. Azure, because it was such an exceptional roleplay moment, I do want to give you a point of big boy inspiration.
Oh my god.
No, you only get one. You only get one.
Yeah, I think
I was
Valor's got the
stating
other
this.
one.
I was stating this out loud so that everyone else also knows that you have been granted a point of inspiration. So it's you and Valor. Because
What the fuck did Valor get his for again? I don't remember.
Valor was basically made the best meal for the poor.
Oh, that right.
The poor civilians.
I
I thought that moment was gonna be the highlight of the session, and then Azure fucking caught me off guard quite a lot.
I've been personally trying to figure out how to handle hero points in Pathfinder, which are kind of similar to inspiration, but more useful in a sense.
Yeah, there's also in the DMG there's an alternate sort of system which is kind of similar to hero points, where it's like narrative points and all that stuff, where you can use them for other things than just what initiative or inspiration is for. But it's a complicated system.
I've recently started doing it. Hero points for heroic things, as well as just going out of the way to do nice things.
But Vint, as you circle back, the priest is still standing there. He takes a moment and kind of just like readjusts like the collar of his shirt, brushes off his robes, and then begins to turn, pauses, and looks back, kind of sweeping the area, and then continues back into the church.
All right. I will follow close behind. Unless he's like gonna go to close the door, in which case I will immediately bail off of that path.
Oh yeah, no, he's shutting the door behind him.
Okay, yeah, no. I'm not getting in then. I'm not invisible. I can't just fucking tickle his taint and fucking walk away. But I will walk around the building, keeping my momentum, and just look through the windows as I keep pace behind him and make sure I know where he's going in the church.
He is going down the straight center, all the way back to his pew. Whereupon he comes back around it, and then approaches the empty pedestal. And he just stands there. His arms held behind his back, hands held in one another, as he just stands there, staring off into empty space.
This guy is gonna do something stupid soon.
It's gonna put him inside instead of outside.
Yeah, now it spells.
Yeah, now it's just. But is that all you're doing?
Yeah, I'm fucking keeping tabs on this motherfucker. He's not getting out of sight.
Okay. After a little while, he will move from his pedestal into what appears to be some sort of back office. Door shuts, and he is out of view.
Do these windows look openable at all?
Give me an investigation check.
Where's the fucking plus now? God damn it. I had them memorized before, now I don't. Because they're all different.
Yeah.
I don't know shit.
You're sure they're openable with the right amount of force applied, but you don't know how to close them after that. You know, a rock could be a good way to open it.
No. So, when he went to close those doors earlier, were they loud at all when they moved?
No louder than any other door in the town. You know, they creaked the same amount.
Well, like, how far did they carry?
You would know, even without being a religious person. You've stolen some stuff from churches. You know the way churches are designed. Sound carries quite well inside of them. Better than most.
Can't do that.
Churches are, after all, designed so that everyone in the church can hear.
How tall is this bitch?
Oh god, how fucking tall is a church? Ah. That's fucking good. I gotta look up how tall a story is. Fucking.
I just generally go in patterns of 10 feet or higher.
I would honestly say it's probably around. Fucking tall as a story.
I mean, a standard one-story building is, at least here in fuck off Ohio,
Yeah,
I
a
would
story
say
is
is
about
like 20 feet tall.
Yeah, a story is about 14 feet. It's about 2 stories tall because there is like an upper sort of overhang level.
So, like,
likely for the choir whenever it's around, as well as a 3-story kind of tower in the front for a
Mhm.
church bell.
a bell. That's
So-
got open air around it, don't it?
Indeed. So it's about 28 feet. So we'll round up to 30. We'll round up to 30 for the
Oh no, with
They
my
instructed-
35 movement speed.
the main church itself is about 30 feet, with the church bell being like 40.
40, okay. Yeah. Still being quiet, I can get up there in 1 turn easy. Even if I dash. Fucking. So I will climb to the top, get in that fucking bell tower.
Okay, so you get into the bell tower, and there is a smaller wooden door that, or not door, but a smaller wooden hatch that leads lower.
Alright, I'm paranoid. Check for traps.
Give me the check, buddy. You know what it is. You've done it enough by now.
This is lockpicking, yeah?
Lockpicking or investigation.
Oh, yeah. I know all!
It is untrapped and unlocked.
Oh, neat. I will.
You also
Do-
know that from the age of it, it's you'd have to be a little bit more careful when opening it, but you could possibly open it quieter.
Let me
I-
check my inventory.
A nat
I have-
20 isn't gonna magically pop it open, but I will give a little bit of an extra boon for it. You get a little bit more information than you normally would have.
I have a single flask of oil that I will use to lube up these fucking hinges so that I can get in quietly.
Fucking creative. I love it. Good. Just mark yourself off a fucking flask of oil, because it's gonna take.
Oh
a
my
good
god,
bit.
there's 2 of them actually. Holy shit.
Ah, and
Thank you,
there
D&D
go.
Beyond.
You get it open. You get it open. Nice and quiet.
Right.
Crackle, crackle.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Let's fix that.
I'm in.
I keep saying that I need to figure out how to fix it, but I keep forgetting to do that. Let's
Holy-
pull that back up. So you guys can rejoin and get the fucking music.
When we get a moment, by the way, I do have questions I want to ask all the DMs and call. DM advice.
All right, so you travel down the tower. It's relatively well maintained, and you exit the bell tower in that sort of balcony area.
Okay.
It seems to be set up where there's like a wraparound, and then the open area where you can look down into where the pews are. Pews, yeah, the pews are the seats. The
Yep.
fucking altar is like
That's like the only word I remember.
yeah. Serves me right for not being religious.
Pews, also known as the super bench.
Fuck it, I think it's an altar. It's an altar. It's an altar now.
Sure.
Just making it a fucking altar. It's fantasy. I'll fucking look it up. I'll check the fucking word later. Right now, it doesn't matter. You were able to look down without any difficulty.
How far's the drop?
About 15 feet.
15. Fuck.
You would hurt your ankles, yes.
Yeah. I'll try and climb down the side over here on the inside.
I mean, you have a rope.
Fuck you. Ropes take time.
I would say for you to climb like down from the balcony and like try to get to the wall, because I know you do have a climbing speed.
Mhm.
I would require at least a little bit of an acrobatics check because you're kind of like swinging yourself to the wall. You can't just immediately like you don't have spider climb like Tsalia does. You can't just walk all the way.
Well, is it just a balcony that exits? Like where? How far is the wall?
A balcony is an overhang.
Like an indoor balcony.
Yes.
Okay. Because I'm trying to create a mental image, and we're clearly not seeing the same thing.
So there are some churches where like there will be like an upper area or upper balconies that overlook the main room of the church. They're built inside. But sometimes there will be, pipe organs or, people for choirs and all that stuff. Usually it's just there for various reasons. So it is a balcony that is built inside and is overhanging above where the church pews are. So let me see if I can let me do it on the map itself so you kind of give it an idea. And then I will erase it.
Here. That's my mental image I've got from a top-down view.
Close but not quite.
Okay.
So let's just basically you have the church. Okay. Give it to me. You have the church.
Mm-hmm.
And then the balcony is kind of over and wrapping around the entire structure.
Okay.
With the pews set
So
inside.
like more like a balcony hallway type deal.
Basically.
Okay.
And then you have the main kind of stage down here with the altar and the pedestal. So the altar is right there, and then the pedestal is the little circle on the back. Does that make sense?
Okay. Okay. Now it's so much easier to fucking see. Oh my god.
So we'll have two little outside rooms right here, because you can see it probably in the structure itself.
Mhm.
And the door the priest went in is over here.
Okay.
So for you, it would be to your right because you entered in through the church tower, which is over here.
All right.
Do you want me to keep that up, or can I erase that?
You can erase it.
Okay.
We got a mental image now. We can work with this. Okay. I will, upon immediate failure, cast Featherfall because I have that.
So we'll have that saved as a reaction there.
Okay.
But
I got a 20.
Yes,
I'm fine.
Yeah, you swing over quite gracefully, quite stealthily, and almost like a cat. You cling to the wall and climb yourself down.
Mhm.
It is quiet.
All right. I will now set up an immediate distraction for myself should shit go south.
Mm-hmm.
I will take out my fist-sized radiant crystal and leave it on that
Mhm.
pedestal where I assume he would put a bigger radiant crystal.
So you are setting it down there.
Yeah. Just to make sure I have that, make sure that'll get his attention if he comes out here before anything else.
as soon as you put it down, or
Oh,
really as
shit.
soon as you pull out the radiant crystal, you can feel a sort of burning sensation in the marking on your back.
Oh, I'm being
Almost
told
like a bit of
no.
a warning sign. Something feels wrong.
No.
Don't mind me just getting attacked by a cat.
Like, you distinctly have this feeling of nausea, almost vertigo, telling you, almost screaming at you, that something just does not feel quite right.
Okay. Plan A is a bust. I'll put that back in my bag.
The sensation lessens, but it still
the
kind of
fuck is this?
lingers a bit.
What's he doing with these crystals? I'll make my way to the door he went through and just try and get a peek through the keyhole if there is one, or if I have to get all the way down, peek through the crack beneath the door. If that's not an option, I'm just gonna listen real hard.
Yep, I guess give me a perception.
My perception is a fucking +5. That is not very good.
It's even like through the keyhole, through the underneath. It's hard to really get a look. Unlike the rest of the church, there are no windows, so it seems to be a little bit dimmer. You can tell there's a bit of candlelight, but at best you can just see feet, and you can't really hear anything.
That's all I want to know. Was he in there? I got what I wanted. All right. I'll go to the other door with the other room.
Okay.
And I will check it for traps.
Say that again.
Check it for traps.
Okay. Give me either Thieves' Tools or Investigation.
Uh.
No trap, but it is locked.
Ooh. I will unlock it. Not a plus 143.
Yeah, you are so fucking used to this. You have been doing it for longer than most people have even known how to breathe, basically.
I'll kiss the gloves.
It's deft hands, unlocked immediately. And you open it, just a crack, and just see what looks to be the stairwell into a cellar.
Oh. Going in here. It's gonna end up probably coming out to all sorts of hell. Fuck. I'll go in.
Okay.
And I will make sure to close and lock the door behind me.
As you just vanish into darkness, we swap back over to Tsalia, hanging out on the
Oh.
tap. Tsalia, what are you up to right now?
How much is Actually, I don't need to buy a wine. I have a wine. I am drinking wine.
Oh yeah, that's right. You stole the fucking wine.
I
You weren't drinking
am
wine.
drinking
What kind of
wine.
asshole brings their own fucking wine into a tavern?
Yeah, that's a little weird. I mean, some people have given you some looks, but it can't really complain.
Oh, get back. Getting a cult.
How
Well,
perfectly inconvenient.
how perfectly inconvenient. And Valor is also in the bathroom, so.
Mental breakdown?
Azure, are you gonna help Nafia teach Squee any sort of common? Okay. You're just relaxing at like one of the tables, not really doing much, right? Yeah, like you're not in your room. one of the bar maidens would swing by and set down a small mug of warm ale and move on to continue serving food to the rest of the patrons.
Alcoholic?
Nafia does, glance over to you from time to time, but she sees that you're kind of not in a good place and for the most part leaves you alone and just continues babbling to Squee and intermittently crossing over into common. That was supposed to repeat.
Oh, the fucking ambience. Stop.
Yeah, the
music didn't- I was
ambience.
like, what the fuck are you on about?
And the ambience, the background noise.
I love that last session ended with a serious interrogation. Comedically serious interrogation. And then this session's just like, yeah, that's broken down. Everybody's fucked off. Some people are depressed. Some people are just like, yeah, let's just fucking chill.
Yeah.
And Vint's off over here like, I am deep in enemy territory.
You are playing with fire, my friend.
Ah, man, if Vint dies, I'm gonna be sad. Like, I'll probably create a character that can both be a scout and a healer. So a druid would probably be for the best if Vint dies. Oh, what the fuck?
What's that?
I was getting stream noises, but Discord was just like, watch stream? Like, what?
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 I'm watching. No, you're not. But I am. I can hear it.
Interesting. We will get to you, Vint, but we
I
need to
know.
make sure everyone else gets some attention too.
Sorry.
There
No.
we go.
No, my noise was more me being jealous of your obvious cat petting.
All right, welcome back, Tsalia. So,
Hi.
we're
Drinking wine.
drinking wine.
And also just kind of thumbing through my notes. Really, just kind of thinking about some stuff.
Are you listening to any of the background noise going around, like any of the background conversations, or are you just kind of off on your own in the world?
Always listening to background conversations.
Okay. Well, you would hear in a table nearby. You know that ship, the big one, out in the harbor? Yeah, that's have to avoid it every time I go fishing. You know, rumor is that not everything got taken out of it. Supposedly, the captain left something important there. Really? What? You expect to go diving in there? As if you could. I've seen you swim. Or flounder. Listen, you get a couple groups together, maybe some lads. Might be gold's worth. Maybe more.
The place is trapped to shit. No doubt.
Yeah. And I'm the king of Dawnbreak. I can't see you getting anyone together for anything. Besides, it's a death trap. That thing's been out there for gods know how long. If there's anything of value, it probably is rusted away by now. Yeah. Just watch. I'll come back rich, and I'll pay for your drinks from now on. Sure you will, bud. and they kind of move back to having their own little conversations about how the weather is and how the fishing season has gone for them.
I'll tell Vint about the possible treasure. And then watch him get knocked out and drowned.
As long as you don't have anything else to do, we will move over to Valor, who is currently hanging out with Winston and Fane.
Ah.
Winston is just kind of sitting on the grass, dangling his legs over the cliffside, not really speaking all that much, more staring out into the open ocean, the wind brushing past his hair. Fane is standing relatively close, arms crossed over his chest. I feel very confused on how I should be feeling right now.
About what?
I suppose about all this. When we met, I did mention that I have grown tired of taking lives. But I joined you because I saw a chance to reclaim what I used to have when I was younger. A chance at adventure. And, in a sense, I seem to have found a lot of that wonder and adventure that I used to have when I was younger. But I don't know how I feel about fighting still, even if they're criminals.
Valor kind of looks up from his painting, not necessarily to look at Fane, but to look out towards the water, and takes a moment to think before responding. It is a valid thought to have. There are many I have met that wish for much the same.
On the one hand, we are obviously doing good here. For the first time in years, I feel like I'm actually helping people rather than hurting anyone. I suppose that's why I feel so conflicted.
I've never liked the violence, but from the years that I have lived and from the time I have spent traveling, I have come to the conclusion that some people you meet won't give you a choice. Their mind is already set. And while I personally do not like to fight, while I do not like to take lives, for me, the ability to protect and the ability to save some lives far outweighs my discomfort when it comes to combat. At least, that is how I've looked at it.
It's at this point that Winston actually speaks up. Something I found is, sometimes better to take one life as long as you're saving, like, I don't know, 10 more, right?
That is another equal valid way of putting it.
It's basically what we're doing. If we just let those guys get away, then what would have happened to all the townsfolk we saved?
There will ever be times that I wish we could live in a place where combat and fighting is something people can do for enjoyment, but none would have to do if they want. If none would have to participate if they didn't want to.
Well, if we're doing fighting for fun, then you know I'm down there first in line.
I wouldn't expect any different of you, Winston.
And at this, Fane also kind of chuckles.
But that is not the time we live in right now. And I say, let us at least attempt to make this world we live in just a step closer to where we wish it to be.
Hearing that, Fane would nod, and Winston would take a fist and pound it against his chest a couple times. And then both of them go back to just sitting in silence and letting you paint. And we lost Valor on the game. We lost Valor on Roll20. He's dead.
I'm still here.
Oh, there you are. You're back.
Yeah, it does that every now and then. People just seem to load in and out for me.
All right. And
I go back to painting.
you go back to painting, and we go back to Vint. Vint, do you have any dark vision?
I do.
You're surrounded in dim light.
Neat. I don't have disadvantage on perception checks because I have Skullcart.
You are correct. So you are at the top of the steps.
I will carefully and slowly make my way down, checking for traps the whole damn time.
You do not find any traps. Just without a check. You already succeeded quite heavily on the door. You don't find any traps.
The momentum carries.
The momentum carries. And you find yourself in the cellar, which there are some wine racks on the far wall, but otherwise it's just like a bunch of old boxes full of parchments and scrolls and other such stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There are a few fragments and chunks from old burnt out radiant crystals,
Mm-hmm.
but otherwise it's empty of anyone else.
So I'm in a church. There's dead radiant crystals in the cellar. Do the radiant crystals appear heavier in any particular part of the room, or are they just scattered about?
And mostly scattered about, with the big ones kind of like the bigger chunks kind of centered in their own area, probably just as to not get in the way.
Mm-hmm. Looking at the dust on the ground, can I see if anything like just feels out of place, like something would be able to move and go there instead? And I'm looking for secret doors.
So there actually isn't a whole lot of dust. It seems actually quite tidy. You can even like right by the entryway, you can actually see a broom and dustpan set up, just leaning against the wall. The church is apparently well tended to.
Okay.
But if you are going to be looking for any other such signs of hidden entryways or hidden doors, I would require a investigation check.
Oh, nice. DC was 20. Fuck.
Now, there's a lot here, scrolls and records from previous priests, previous, religious members, documents from the history of the town, history of the town, as well as various logs from, accepting the older radiant crystals, years that were skipped, years that, no tithe was given. But you don't find any signs of any sort of hidden entryway.
Damn, the DC was 20. I'll take the fanciest looking wine bottle then.
All right, Tsalia would love that. They get a wine bottle that's probably worth at least 2 GP.
All right.
What do you do?
Nothing's out of place in here. Fuck. I don't have any leads in here, so I guess I'll start making my way out.
Okay.
Before I unlock the door again, I will peek through and make sure he's not in the church proper.
Give me perception.
Hey, that's better.
You don't see him, but you do notice across the way that his office door is open.
Oh, shit. Well, I'm stuck. I got time. I'm patient. I'll wait.
Wow.
Give me another perception check.
Much better.
The door is open, but you don't hear anything.
Yeah.
You don't hear any footsteps. You don't even hear any sort of pages turning. You don't even hear muttered prayers. It's silent.
I assume an hour has passed for me to roll again. Like, I was patient. Okay. Nothing's going on, so I'll unlock the door again and start making my way to the open room.
It's empty. The priest is gone. His office door is slightly ajar.
Is there a rug for hidden door?
Nope.
No. What the hell was he? All right, I'm fucking just searching the whole room, top to bottom.
Give me an investigation. Okay.
I've rolled enough to get 2 natural 20s now.
Okay. All right. Just like the basement, the church is actually very well tended to, which is, while normally you would have some inkling of suspicion because it's only one man,
Mhm.
you then remember you're dealing with a church to the goddess of order. So being overly kind of anal about cleaning and cleanliness sounds about right. The office is completely dark. Aside from the light coming in from the open door, all the candles have been put out, and it all seems neat and tidy. A few scrolls organized in a stack, a book closed on the desk, seeming to be a religious tome of sorts.
Oh boy.
And
I would have heard him leave the building if sound carries well enough.
yeah, but you were also underground.
Hmm.
Things tend to be a bit more stagnant and muffled when you are under everything. I'm
Vint
trying
is just
to-
like keeping a hand at the ready to just shock and grasp anything that spooks him.
Give me 1 second here, because I do want to honor the 20 and make sure I give you a little bit of a boon for that. Obviously, I'm not going to give you the fucking answer, but...
He's evil.
From the corner of your eye in the dark room, a glint catches your eye. And seemingly slightly ajar is a small kind of cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
And within is a bundle of cloth, not fully wrapped tight. And from that bundle, you can see a small glow.
I will carefully unwrap it just a little bit to get a better look what's inside.
It is a radiant crystal.
I will cover it back up immediately.
You would at least notice that the glow with the radiant crystal is much less vibrant than the one that you have. It's a lot more faded. And before you cover it up fully, you do get the sense that there is something off about how it glows. Like it's not as pure as the one in your pocket.
What the fuck? I will bag it.
Okay.
Weirdo radiant crystal. There we go. Fuck. It's probably all the info I'm getting out of this fucking place. For at least for now. So I will climb my way back up and out of the building.
Okay. I assume you've basically set everything as it was.
Yeah.
You've been very thorough with stating that, so I wanted to...
Yeah, I want to make sure, like, I do not leave a trace.
Okay. And you make your way out. You, from the top of the church bell, you are able to see a good bit of the town. But you're not able to see the priest.
Fucking weird. And I will make my way to the inn.
Okay. You enter, and it is business as usual.
Like, I was so fucking paranoid about him being invisible.
Be right back.
So you enter the inn. You see Azure moping in the corner. You see Nafia teaching Sui. What would you like to do?
Nafia,
Oh yeah, what's up?
pre-spotted you the other night. You gotta
Oh,
be,
fuck.
yeah.
It must.
you gotta
It
be a
must
little
have been
more
the
careful.
second night. It must have been the second night.
Yeah.
That's when I lost him fully.
No. Much as I hate it, no more stalking for you. At least for him, on him. It's just gonna get you. It's gonna fucking ruin all sorts of shit.
Gotcha. I'm sorry I let you guys down.
You're fine. You got us a little bit of information. That got us a lead.
Well, that's good.
You know where Tsalia is?
Azure, do you know where Tsalia is?
Why is he depressed? Does Azure Azure look
Visibly depressed.
visibly depressed?
I mean,
I'm asking you.
he's more brooding. It's more brooding than it's moping.
Oh fuck.
Tsalia is going to.
Tsalia.
Not Tsalia. I did it again. I did it again. I did it again.
We gotta kill off Nafia. We have to kill her now. It must be done.
I was doing so well.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I was.
This session, yes.
That's what I'm fucking referring to. I was doing so well this session.
What happened?
He called
okay.
Nafia Tsalia again.
Nafia thinks for a moment. I
Oh,
mean,
damn it.
she's obsessed with wine, right? I mean, try the tavern or maybe one of the shops. See if she's trying to buy something.
Alright, tavern's across the street. Let's try that first.
Yes, Azure?
What the fuck did you just say? I
I
did not
thought
come in
I
as a
thought-
word to me.
I thought Azure said DM, or was it damn? Okay, you were saying damn. Okay,
Damn.
Damn it.
We
it was
both
so
put
quick.
a B on it.
it was so quick, and Vint was talking that I thought it was DM. And I was like, oh, yeah, what's up? What's we can do for you?
Damn Gnabbit.
Dang it, yeah, but I know. I live the DM. You should respect me as you ever. All right. Vin, you enter the tavern. And Tsalia is in her book with a bottle of stolen wine.
God damn it.
This is my DM voice now.
Ha ha! This is Vint's voice then!
Okay, moving on.
Tsalia, I got two things for you. Both of them need to be in private.
I am a little busy. Can we do it later?
Given the contents, I am in possession of. No.
Tsalia rolls her eyes, corks up the now half-empty wine bottle.
She is a fucking heavyweight when it comes to alcohol.
There's a reason.
She's a fucking heavyweight, goddamn.
If you're resistant to poison damage, you're resistant to alcohol.
I'm not resistant to poison damage.
Technically
Oh, boy.
speaking, if Vint really wants to talk and Tsalia's being a butt, he could go find out Valor.
It's more like, this is the nerd of the party. I have nerd shit to do.
Lead away.
right.
Oh, Tsalia got pegged as a fucking need.
Not wrong.
Kidding.
Yep. We'll go to Vint and Azure's room since Blue Boy's not there.
As you close the door, we cut to Valor.
Oh, okay.
As Valor,
Still painting?
you, while you're just probably about to finish up painting, you see the priest casually strolling across the bridge and beginning to talk to the lighthouse keeper.
I have a feeling that conversation's not gonna go well.
Almost as soon as you say that, the lighthouse keeper, you can't hear the words, but you can hear the fact that lighthouse keeper starts yelling at the priest, and the priest is yelling back.
Do I want to? I don't want to. Do I have to?
All the lore can hear all the lore can hear is just bicker over and over again.
Winston looks back at Valor, just kind of shrugs. I mean, you could just leave him to it.
Wait, what'd you say, Winston?
You could just leave him to it.
You're what?
I mean, isn't that kind of what they do?
I'll be right back.
I guess. I just don't want them to start, like, punching each other.
Valor's parental instincts are tingling.
Valor just looks up, I feel a fight happening.
Almost on cue, the lighthouse keeper will shove the priest back a bit and just point across the bridge. And he's like, he basically, swings his pointer finger, like, again and again, just aggressively pointing back across the bridge. And then he turns around and they both leave in a huff.
Thank the heavens.
But
Uh-huh.
Valor,
Uh-huh.
you can see that the priest does turn in your direction. Well, he's not heading towards you.
Mm-hmm.
He is heading along the path. And he does stop for a moment and give you a look. Keep a tight leash on your friends, if you would. I am tired of finding them always in my business. And he continues on. And vanishes from sight. Just vanishing amongst the crowd.
Why do I have a bad feeling about this?
Probably because it's not something a priest normally says. as far as I'm aware.
You'd be surprised how the courage you can get sometimes.
I'm back.
But I don't believe I've ever ran into a priest that has said similar things.
What miss?
The priest gave a little bit of a threat to Valor.
Oh.
I got threatened.
Did he just threaten Valor specifically? Valor as a party representative?
Valor is a party representative.
Okay. He figured me out.
I don't think he did.
Oh.
Because he basically said, oh, what exactly did he say? He said,
Keep a tighter leash on your friends. I'm tired of finding them poking around my business.
Plural.
yes, but the reason I don't think he figured it out is because I feel like if he realized what had actually happened, he'd be a lot more fucking upset.
Mhm.
I think he just assumed that you were doing shady shit because you were sitting outside of the church.
Mhm.
But yeah, I basically got
Fine.
threatened.
Yeah.
Yeah, Valor basically watches the direction he left and just kind of says, I feel much more concerned with the safety of our group now.
And with that, let's make that safety even more concerning by cutting back to Vint and Tsalia.
Good. All right.
Alright.
You've got me in your room. Now what is it you'd want?
First of
Of
all,
course, you had to say it in that phrasing.
wait, what? Huh? No. Bad.
No, don't worry about it.
Alright.
Phrasing.
Yeah, phrasing. Well, stole this, and I hand her the bottle of wine.
You're giving me wine, you stole.
Quite high quality wine.
You fucking stole it after threatening to. You stole wine after threatening to cut off my hands. Here's
That
some more
was-
wine.
Tsalia will begrudgingly take it.
And also, here's something that could get us killed. I pull out the weirdo radiant crystal.
I didn't hear the initial description. Can you describe it again?
It was a fragment of a radiant crystal similar to the one that Vint had grabbed. About the same size, about fits in his fist. Unbundled, you can tell that the light is duller. It's fading out, just like how the lighthouse's light was fading out for a while. But there's also a different look to the light that does come out of it, as if something has poisoned the radiance that it usually has. And in fact, once it is fully revealed in both of your presences, both of your marks pulse with a dull, aching pain and a sensation that something is not right, that something is not how it should be.
Oh no.
Well, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what we can learn about this. Set it down on. Is there a table, like a bedside table, in here?
Oh, absolutely. It's a well-furnished inn.
Put it down on the table.
Yeah, I'll put it there. Put it
Uh,
right in the center. Without touching it directly at all.
couple rituals. First one, detect magic.
Okay.
That is 11 minutes to ritually
does.
cast it.
So, once it is cast, you can detect a few points of magic. You can detect the magic of the weapon downstairs that Azure wields, because I believe detect magic is like 100. It's a long range. I know that much.
30 feet.
30 feet.
30 feet. Yeah. So you would pick up all the way downstairs with Azure.
Yeah.
Through. Yeah, 3 feet of wood. You can definitely detect it.
You would also detect the radiant magic of Vint's crystal,
And his
as
gloves.
well. Oh yeah, and his gloves. You would detect his gloves. You would detect his gloves, as well
you detect
as
his invisible gloves.
his invisible gloves, as well as something that reads more celestial in nature from both your marking as well as coming off of Vint's back.
Mhm.
And finally, as well as something coming off of the crystal that Vint had taken from the church. However, while it feels celestial in nature, there is a corruption to that.
Mhm.
As it doesn't feel quite right.
Can I detect School of Magic, if any?
Probably a little bit of evocation for the light at the very least.
Yeah.
Of course.
And then
You would get that. I just need to check and double check real quick.
Take your time.
The necromancy.
Mm. Nope, get out of the way there. So, with your markings, you would detect abjuration.
Mhm.
hey,
Makes sense.
protected by gods. That's pretty cool.
But yes, from the crystal, you would detect necromancy.
Oh boy.
It's not as powerful as what you would expect from, say, vampires or undead, but it's that sort of that darker, corrupting essence that makes it feel much more impure.
Necromancy.
Huh? He'll look up from just looking straight into the fucking spell book. What?
Why would this crystal be emanating necromantic magic?
What the fuck?
Let me just check something really quick. Vint, have you touched this thing with your bare hands?
No. Just something fell off. Moment I saw it, didn't touch it. Kept that cloth between me and it, at the very least.
I could cast Identify on it, but I would have to touch the thing. But I'm not so sure that's a very good idea.
Specifies touch.
If anything weird happens, you have permission to tackle me.
Okay.
To get me off of it.
There is one other thing, because I just had to double check something.
Mhm.
You would get a faint hint of divination.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of like a whiff
Alright.
Like, from the crystal?
from the crystal, yes.
Alright. I am going to pick up the crystal.
Your mark throbs a little bit more painfully, and that sense of wrongness, that sense of that it twists your stomach. You feel nauseous holding it, but it doesn't outright hurt you.
Mm-hmm. So I'm able to hold it, no ill effects
Yes,
otherwise?
you are able to hold it, no ill effects.
Now the question is, can I withstand that feeling for 11 minutes to cast Identify?
I would
12
require
minutes.
a Constitution save. Because you are trying to fight off a almost overwhelming sense of just nausea with this.
Don't know if Vint can aid in that.
No.
And you are casting Identify, correct?
Yes.
Oh. No, that's mine.
Yeah, you were looking at your...
Oh boy.
It is harsh. It is brutal. Everything about you, every fiber of your being is screaming that this isn't right. It wants to get away. It wants to let go. But through sheer force of will, you are able to resist that sort of sickening sensation and hold on. Though you are sure that you are going to need to lie down for a moment afterwards.
Yes.
Okay.
Now what the hell is it?
So you're using Identify. So let me just look over how Identify works. So immediately, outright, you learn that it is, of course, a dying radiant crystal.
Gee, I wonder how.
You learn that naturally it gives off radiant light, that it can be used both for light, but also, if molded properly, can be used to imbue armor or weapons with that same property.
Interesting.
However, that is when it's natural. This has been corrupted in a deep and potent manner. There is a necrotic energy bubbling within inside. It is toxic. It is foul. But you learn that through some means, something powerful enough can communicate through it.
Huh?
You are not able to identify the spell, but you are still able to judge how it is used, at least by other sorts.
All right.
Is the spell locate object currently affecting it? Because I know you said divination earlier.
No.
No, okay. Good. Really good.
As soon as I learn all this, I immediately drop it on the floor and just start rubbing my temples.
Okay. I will pick it back up and wrap it up. Well, wrap it up, then pick it up. Alright.
I didn't get anything to say, like, what the corruption was about, like what it was trying to do?
Nope.
Well,
It was not clear to you.
gross necromancy and something can communicate through it.
Yes.
You could probably wager a guess that what
It's
was
Orcus.
you could probably guess that what is corrupting it and what is communicating through it are one and the same.
Okay, so it actually is just Orcus.
I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it? Would the communication be one way? And if so, which way?
It would be one way, and it would be talking out of the crystal.
Okay. Okay.
So, Tsalia, it is up to you to communicate however much you need.
I'm going... Alright. It's some sort of evil communication device.
He'll stop in the middle of wrapping it up. Fucking what?
Whatever is communicating there, it is corrupting its very essence. That would have to be something rather powerful to do such. Oh, it's... Something can speak through the stone.
Something can speak through it. I saw he had a bunch of dead crystals in the basement. So... And this was the only one that I found with any fragmental light in it. He's gonna be desperate for another one soon.
The priest said he heard things through them. The true God, I think he put it.
This motherfucker's insane.
I think he may be in contact with a demon, or perhaps something else.
God, what the fuck? I don't... I've heard bits and bobs about the plains. How far out is that? Demon shit? Really far? Really close? Where is this?
Was that to the GM or to me?
No, I'm talking to you.
It's... Well, it's not unheard of. I've heard of demonic possessions before, as well as also other fiends. Though I'm not entirely sure what would be doing this, but I do know there are quite a few fiendish creatures that enjoy tempting supposedly pious individuals.
Mm-hmm.
For what means, I'm not sure. Of course, maybe it's not even a demon, given that it's emanating necrotic energies, perhaps something dead. Maybe he's communicating with the spirit world.
Or the fucking vampire on this island.
I suppose. No, I would have thought he'd be dead by now.
Alright. He's gonna be desperate for another crystal. I'm gonna throw this in the ocean.
Perhaps not the best idea.
What's wrong with throwing it in the ocean? I throw it in the woods, he's gonna find it. He's gonna dig it up.
He's a priest. He probably has magic. Maybe he can breathe underwater for all we know.
Better to put him with the fucking fishes. Give him a little bit of a challenge. Make him spend some energy rather than, oh no, I just dig it up out of the ground.
It should just be destroyed. Outright.
We can do that.
Got a hammer?
Do I have a hammer? I don't... I have a hammer, but it's not much. I'd probably break the hammer before I break this.
If only we had a portal to throw it through.
That'd be nice. I'm gonna go find the strong trio, see if they can break it, and if not, throw it in the ocean.
Good idea.
Tsalia, you would need at the very least an hour's worth of rest to recover from the nauseous effects.
I'm going to lie down.
All right. You're under the poison condition.
Basically.
All right. Where the fuck is Valor? He says, walking down the stairs.
Where does he think Valor is?
Obviously, Valor is at the non-existent brothel.
You getting it
Valor didn't-
on.
Right, I interrupted Valor in his painting. He's probably finishing that.
I will go to where I think he's painting.
It's about 2 p.m. by the time you reach Valor.
Yo, strong guys.
Oh, what's up? And Winston kind of jumps up.
I will unravel the fucking thing and just let it hit the ground.
Valor, you feel a strong sense of agitation and nausea as soon as that crystal hits the ground.
Like worse than Vint and Tsalia?
A little bit, yeah.
Valor immediately, like, straight up backs away from it, kind of scrambling across the ground before, like, bending over and doing a dry heaving motion.
Valor hisses like a vampire.
Winston looks a bit confused.
Valor looks back over. What is
We need to break
that?
some kind of fucking communication radiant crystal fucking shit.
Who the fuck wants
Oh, what?
What?
Sorry, give me a second.
Christ.
We're the only ones around here, right?
You're on the coast. The only reason the priest was like nearby is that he saw you, walked kind of closest to you, and then went back right along the road.
Okay.
Fucking, we break it, pulverize it, turn it to dust.
I, against my better judgment, attempt to pick it up to put it
I
in a
will
better spot.
slap your hand and hand you the fucking and pick up the damn rag. Pick it up with the rag. Where do you want it?
Is there like a rock or somewhere around here?
Yeah, there are a couple rocks.
Yeah, I kind of wedge it in between a couple of rocks just so it doesn't go flying. Alright. We're just shattering it?
It just needs to be broken.
Okay. I will attempt to smash it. Probably with the shield first.
Okay. Give me, I guess, a simple weapons check. Just give me a simple attack, I suppose. I was thinking a strength check, but
I hate this thing.
you lift your shield and you drive it down, and there is a crisp, echoing clang. And for a moment, the crystal seems unaffected until, with just a bit of force in the right way, you hear the splitting of glass as the radiant crystal splinters into fragments and then bursts, knocking you prone with a blast of radiant, corrupt, necrotic energy. As if they're all they're conflicting and warring with one another, and you take 6 damage.
Oh!
Of both radiant and necrotic.
Both radiant and necrotic, as they are both essentially fighting one
So,
another.
6 total, 3 of
6
each.
total. Nope, 1 of radiant, 5 of necrotic.
Oh.
Boy. That was 2d6.
Alright. Valor kind of gets sent sprawled back. There's a grunt as he hits the ground and just kind of lays there for a couple of seconds before pushing himself up onto his elbows.
And now it goes to the ocean.
I
and I'll
need you
start
two to
laughing
make
it
me a
up.
wisdom save.
Oh, fuck.
Oh,
We are not good at these. I need to be level 15 before I'm good at them. Or is it 14? I get blind sense at 14. I got a 14. Speaking of 14.
I got a 9.
Shit.
There is a sharp pierce in both of your minds, and you feel eyes on you. And for a moment, as you look into the sky, you could swear something is looking back at you.
Suck
And
it.
You are petrified.
Literally?
Yep, You
We are
Are?
stoned now.
are frightened. You are
Oh.
frightened and frozen, and you take 6 damage. 6 psychic damage.
Oh.
Both of us?
Both of you.
Oh, I did not save.
And you feel this overwhelming sense of hatred. As if the emotion itself has been taken and distilled down to its purest, unfiltered form. This is a hate without real reason. This is a hate that hates you just for breathing, just for being alive. This is a hatred that wants to see you both erased from this plane of existence. And then it's gone.
I'm throwing it in the fucking ocean.
It's shattered.
Oh, fucking, I don't care. I'm not leaving this dust here.
It basically just looks like normal glass.
Don't care. Ocean.
Evil dust. Evil dust.
Valor's curling into a ball. Valor's just gonna kind of hide his head and curl as much as he physically can.
Priest is fucked. Priest is all sorts of fucked. Fuck the priest. Fuck him. Fucking
Valor's
Vint will have gathered the dust in that fucking cloth that he had the crystal in to begin with, and he's just saying fuck the priest the whole way towards the ocean.
Valor is shaking.
Yeah,
He's
Vint,
not
you would
saying a
also
word.
Vint, you would also be shivering. You probably have never felt fear like this before.
Yeah, fuck the priest. Fuck him. Fuck him. Just fuck him.
How a question? What are Winston and Fane doing?
Winston and Fane are standing in shock and surprise, and they don't know what, like, it looks like they don't know what they're supposed to do. Winston is the first to go to you, Valor, because you are curled up. And while Fane follows Vint to make sure he's not alone. Because, again, both of you are visibly shaking more than your body. Like, you can't even stop your body from shivering. And Winston actually takes your head, Valor, and he sits crisscross applesauce, just sits down, and he rests your head in his lap.
Hello.
And he rests a hand over your shoulder, just kind of gently pats and pets.
Aw. I have a question.
Uh-huh.
From the psychic damage, is there blood leaking from my nose?
Yes. You have taken a good mix of damage, and it has definitely left you a little bit bloodied. And he takes his thumb and brushes it off.
You took sun damage. You took life force sapped from you damage. You took brain damage.
Brain damage!
I'm
exactly
sitting.
what psychic damage is.
I'm sitting at a healthy 18 hit points.
Hey,
always-
I have one more hit point than you.
I always personally describe psychic damage as soul damage.
That also
That-
works.
Yeah, that works. It depends on where it's coming from. Because I would say certain sources like will target the brain or the soul, right?
Mhm.
But Fane is following after Vint, and
He's just gonna hear me cussing about the priest the whole time.
Vint, what has happened? Vint, what's going
Priest.
on?
The priest communicated with some fucking evil god. He's a fucking weirdo. He needs to fucking die. Fuck him.
What? Okay, I need you to take a step back. I need you to take a breath, and I need you to explain.
This fucking crystal had some fucking evil god communicating through it. Tsalia used some magic to confirm this shit. I wanted to throw it in the ocean immediately. Tsalia said to break it first. Breaking it seems to be a good fucking idea. Painful, but good. I'll wipe the blood from my nose finally. Fuck the priest. I'm throwing the rest of this fucking dust in the ocean, and then I'm gonna fucking stab him.
Don't stab the priest. I say this is me. Don't stab the priest. Not yet.
Channeling that energy, Fane will hold out his hands. Vint, we can't just go and stab the town priest. Not without evidence. If we just go and stab someone who is important in this town, that's not going to look good for any of us.
And I had the evidence destroyed before I could make fucking use of it. Yay me. Fuck me.
How could you tell that there was something wrong with that crystal? To me, it looked no different than any other radiant crystal. Just a bit duller.
Fuck
Felt.
it. Hmm?
Felt is probably a better word for Fane.
Fucking God chosen shit, man. Apparently I'm one of them now. Fucking fuck me. I'm still walking towards the fucking dock.
He kind of stops, like as you start walking away, and processes what you just said, and then immediately rushes out. God chosen.
It's fucking weird dream. I thought it was a weird dream a fucking month ago. I thought it was a weird dream like fucking a night or two ago. I don't remember when it happened. My fucking brain scrambled. I want to fucking stab the priest.
I thought God chosen were just myths.
Apparently not. They make
Valor
deals
can-
with you even when you're not aware that you're actually making a fucking deal and not just fucking dreaming.
I wish I could speak in this moment, but Valor can't hear this conversation.
And he reaches over, he grabs the bag from you,
I'm like,
and
fuck it.
he basically reels back and hurls it out into the ocean.
Great.
There.
Some kid's gonna fucking swim out 5 feet and grab the bag. I was gonna go to the end of the dock and throw it a little further.
It's dust.
It's dust, Vint.
Doesn't matter.
It's
It's the weirdo crystal shit.
he grabs you by your shoulders and he shakes you. Vint, it's destroyed. It's dust. The light inside it is gone.
Motherfucker.
Come on. Let's go back to Valor.
DMs, by the way.
Oh, yep, I saw.
Just making sure.
Do they make it back to Valor? And Winston?
They do, but as you all meet back up, Tsalia is going to collect Azure.
Sneaky shit.
Azure, come with me. It's important. No time for questions. Very bad.
What's a Russian?
Does it work?
What's a Russian? No, we're kidding. We're joking.
We're just rushing.
Everyone's Russian. Ah!
Do I see Valor and the others?
You probably would remember the last place you all met up, by Valor painting. So
I had
'cause
there.
you all did collectively meet up there at one point.
Would they find Valor clutching Winston, shaking as he's curled in Winston's lap?
I don't know. How long do you think he would be that way?
It's about a 10-minute walk.
Yeah, give or take.
He'd probably be like that for about 5-ish minutes, probably.
Then no.
Then no.
You will have gotten out of the lap pedal by now.
He will he will still definitely look shaken. Like,
Oh yes.
A 10-minute walk if you're going by the fucking road.
and he's definitely like still sitting incredibly close to Winston.
Yes. And Winston is kind of just looking after you, so he will move.
I want to fucking stab him.
Boys,
I want to stab him. I just want to stab him.
As you're muttering that, Tsalia and Azure approach and join the group.
Tsalia hurriedly stumbles into scene.
I will let you guys have your discussion. I need to real quick BRB. So go ahead and converse.
Hello, Vint. Did you destroy the crystal?
Yes.
I think the priest knows.
Shit.
Possible new theory. The priest may have been corrupted by whatever the hell was coming through the crystal. He might be some sort of warlock, necromancer thing.
Oh, good. Yay.
How,
Yay. Fuck me.
how would he know?
I'm not sure. But we need to get to the lighthouse. There's no time to explain. We need to protect the lighthouse. Very possible. Maybe it was a focus or something.
Volor still looks incredibly shaken. He's
It
still
was-
got. Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead. You
No,
go
I was just gonna say he still has a little bit of blood dripping down his nose. There's probably a couple of scrapes from the resulting explosion as well across his scales.
All I can tell is the crystal was corrupted in some sense. I'm not sure for what purpose, if it was on purpose, if it was accidental, but it was related to the priest, quite possibly. And I think he's going to try and kill the lighthouse keeper, maybe, and steal the big crystal, and maybe even summon some sort of dark god from beyond the veil.
Oh, great.
I
Yep,
am
yep.
back. I'm back.
Welcome back.
Yes, you can visibly see. You can visibly see that Azure looks worse for wear.
Asher.
No.
Azure does look worse for wear, though. He doesn't look physically worse for wear, but he looks like shit.
I think
You found a
everybody
mirror.
looks like shit right now.
Valor,
can-
everyone looks like shit. Valor looks visibly injured. It looks like there are a couple, pieces of the crystal that have embedded themselves ever so slightly, but not really. Like, kind of like it's like in the surface level, right? Where it's not enough to be super painful, but it's noticeable that there's a fucking shrapnel in the man's. He does look a bit scorched. There are, some obviously remnants of the psychic damage that have, reddened the corners of his usually bright and starry eyes, and Vint has a streak of blood from his nose that he's tried to wipe away, but still kind of left a little bit of smear.
I am fine. Don't bother.
I'm missing 12 hit points.
You got fucking dump truck.
Yeah, like. Hey, that's
Hey,
half.
hey, it's better. It's much better.
This is
That
much
would've-
better.
Yeah, that would have put me at full. Exactly. You're fine.
It's all
Good.
good. It's not like I'm throwing you into combat soon. You're fine.
I definitely look up at Azure and give Azure a smile and a soft thank you. And I look over at Vint and Fane, kind of
Fuck the priest. Fuck
looking at Vint and how upset he is, and looking at Fane.
Fuck him.
So, Vint has revealed that to me that he is a god chosen.
I'm not surprised about that.
It's safe to assume that from your reaction, you are one as well.
I look up at Jane. Have been for 20 years.
Oh fuck.
He seems to kind of like his stance seems to shaking a bit as he steadies himself. He brings up a hand and just kind of presses it to his forehead through the cloth. Well, then I'm glad that I made friends with you instead of fighting.
Listen, we can all brag about being a god's personal handmaiden on some other time. There are more pressing things at the moment. We should go to the lighthouse.
Right. Yeah.
Valor starts to stand.
Winston
will
does help.
Get a
you.
head start.
Winston does
Fuck
help.
the priest. Fuck him.
Valor does give a nod to Winston in thanks.
He sticks by your side the whole time,
Mhm.
just kind of giving you a shoulder to lean on.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of doting the way he does.
Aw, he cares. But yeah, I definitely start heading towards the lighthouse.
I assume everyone is.
Yep.
If is he outside?
Yes, the lighthouse keeper is just kind of like tending to like some chores outside, and he
I
turns
will.
around to see a bunch of
Point
heavily
at him.
armed adventurers.
Fuck the priest. Fuck him.
I mean, yeah, fuck the priest, but what's all this about?
Vint, keep your voice down.
Bad things. Priest possibly talking to undead or dark gods possibly doing or wanting something with Lighthouse Crystal. We need to stop him.
Tsalia, can I ask a question?
If it's short.
How do you know this?
That is not important.
Shut the fuck up.
I feel like that's incredibly important at this point in time.
It is a tale for another day. For right now, we should probably focus on the possible dark god that might be bearing down on this town.
You're gonna need to explain it to me a little bit slower. What? Now, he's an asshole, but I wouldn't peg him as a dark god's little butt bitch.
I don't think he's doing it on purpose necessarily. I think he might be mind-controlled or irreversibly corrupted. Maybe he's even a walking corpse and nobody realized.
Here is a question I'd like to ask you.
Who,
anyone-
me or her?
Yes. Does anyone in this town truly know what he does with those crystals?
As far as I know, basically, whenever it was fully burnt out, they were either tossed into the ocean or stowed away down in the church's cellar.
Yep. Basement. Bunch of them.
Well, Vince found one somewhere, and it appears to have been used as a one-way communication device. It has slowly been corrupted over several uses and is radiating with evil magic.
Aha.
He's talked about hearing gods speaking from the crystal. I think the god is whispering dark things in his mind and possibly driving him insane.
I don't know this for certain. I would like to posit that. The crystal thing, yes. Everything else we're currently... Unless Tsalia has evidence.
I have
Concerned about?
I have no evidence. I just know something is wrong with the lighthouse.
I was about to ask what sort of evidence you all have for that. But it seems you're very certain, and you did help me out quite a lot.
I
suppose I can trust you a bit. But is it? Why come to me?
You're the lighthouse keeper.
Right.
You've got the easiest access fucking crystal, dude. He coming. He came here last night. He didn't do anything as far as I could tell.
He did
No.
what?
He muttered some shit in front of your door.
Wait, he muttered things in front of his door.
He
Yeah.
looked back at the door.
I have a question.
Yeah?
He walked up to you earlier while I was painting.
Yeah.
What did he say?
He was just bitching about me throwing the old crystal out. Bitching that I wouldn't let him even see the crystal up at the lighthouse. And calling me all sorts of names. Just bitching. Moaning, crying, whining about how this and that, how I was an insult to the goddess of law and truth.
That the one that we destroyed was a shard, right? Like not
Yes.
a proper full crystal.
It was a shard, yes. About the same as
Wait.
the one you have in your pocket.
What'd you do with the what'd you do with the last crystal?
We threw it out, remember? We tossed it down into the rocks below, shattered into a
pretty sure-
million pieces.
Pretty sure I wasn't at the lighthouse at the time. That's why I asked.
Oh,
I
Wait.
was...
you were off doing fucking whatever. I don't know what you do.
So you destroyed it. What'd you do with the fucking crumble? What'd you do with the crumbs? What'd you
He
do with it?
motions to the waves below.
Okay.
Unless the priest wanted to go for a swim, I don't think he was getting anything out of that.
I will fucking look around. I will start patrolling the whole damn cliffside and look for little glowy spots in the fucking water.
Give me perception.
Did the shard before I destroyed it, did it look just as dim as the one we tossed in the ocean? Because I was there.
It looks dimmer.
But it looked like it had to be around the same. So it looked okay. It looked dimmer, like it was older.
Yeah, it looks like it was basically about to die, whereas the one that you had just destroyed looked like it still had a good bit of life left. Excuse me, pardon me. And Vint, you notice, a little bit of shimmers from some of the rocks, but it's not light. It more is like the sun reflecting off of the fragments.
So they've probably died at this point after shattering, like all the light escaped. Okay. I think I'm knocking my door. Be right back.
How tall is the lighthouse?
About 40 feet.
Mr. Keeper, would you be so kind as to let me into your house?
Sure. And he opens the door and allows you in.
My things. What is in here?
The bottom floor looks like a bit of like a storage area for a bunch of tools and equipment. And as well as kind of like a cot for the lighthouse keeper himself to sleep in. It looks like he if not permanently, at least sometimes stays here, likely during rough weather where the lighthouse needs a lot more tending to. Otherwise, it's just a giant staircase leading up.
Do you mind if I go and inspect the crystal? You may come with me if you suspect tampering.
Yeah, I'll come with.
Crystal, away.
You do reach a second floor, which seems to be, again, a little bit more of storage, this one a little bit more important equipment. Stuff that looks like it would help either clean the crystal or help, polish and refine it, as well as stuff to help with the various mechanisms that are required up at the top. And then you arrive at the top of the lighthouse. A cool breeze blows through an open window. The glass itself seems very high quality. And there are a couple, gears and knobs that help turn kind of like a focusing lens mirror array to help cast the beam outwards.
Looking at the crystal, any weird feelings?
No. You get nothing.
I would like to go ahead and do a ritual for detect magic.
Okay.
But that will take a bit, so what are you guys doing in 10 minutes?
11 minutes.
12 minutes, whatever.
No. Identifies 12 minutes because it's a minute casting time by default. Plus 1 minute for the level of the spell, and then 10 minutes ritually.
I thought detect magic was also a minute.
No, detect magic is an action, so it's 11 minutes and 6 seconds.
You're right.
Valor's just kind of waiting down at the entrance, looking back out towards the town. He's probably taking... Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, while he's doing this, he's probably also taking the time to, like put away his painting supplies a little bit better, because he probably put everything in a decent bit hastily because of how Tsalia was talking.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, he's watching the town.
I will
All seems like business as usual.
climb up the lighthouse a little after, remembering that I still have the captain's fucking spyglass. And I will fucking just keep my eyes on the goddamn church. Fucking motherfucker.
Vit, give me a perception. And Tsalia,
Yeah.
you detect nothing out of the ordinary.
Oh.
Everything feels the same as the pure fragment in Vint's pocket.
Alright. I will then just slowly walk throughout the lighthouse till I get to the front door. Just trying to see if I can see anything else.
Oh, there was something that I need to check here real quick.
That's a nice perception roll.
Yes. So
Oh.
while
Delicious. I perceive. No, just I perceive.
so Vint,
Yep.
for you and your perception check,
Mhm.
you are able to spot the church. You got a lot of height on here, but you don't really see the priest, especially from the angle you're at. It probably, even if he was standing outside, you wouldn't be able to notice him.
Mm-hmm.
And just as well, through the windows, you wouldn't be able to see him either because it's just so far away. The only way you would have been able to notice him is if it was outside, and unfortunately, he is not.
I'm like keeping an eye on the whole damn path here. Fucking, just, is he coming? Is he coming? Is he coming?
Okay.
I
Then
would like-
engages Overwatch.
I would like to Valor kind of at this point is waiting for Tsalia and the lighthouse keeper to get out of the lighthouse.
Tsalia,
To,
go ahead. Finish what you were saying.
I was just gonna say to say a couple of things or ask a question or something.
Tsalia, as soon as you get to the door, you would detect faint hints of transmutation magic.
Oh joy!
Huh? Huh?
Transmutation.
What the fuck is this shit?
Can I pinpoint a location exactly?
It is basically dead center on the door itself.
Interesting. I'd like to look a little bit closer at it. Do I
Give
see
me,
any deformities?
give me an investigation.
Oh boy, investigation. I'm good at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Confirmed good.
You would actually, you're a spellcaster by trade, by nature.
Mhm.
You have studied a lot of different spell books and spell scrolls, and as you trace your fingers against the door, looking around the spot that you detect the transmutation magic the strongest, you see some faint outlines dusting in the wake of your fingertips that quickly vanish into the wood as soon as your finger leaves.
Interesting.
And over a bit of time, just a few minutes of inspecting it, you come to recognize this as a spell circle that seems to activate the spell Knock.
Oh
Mhm.
shit.
It hasn't been activated yet.
Well, I have a bit of a plan.
Ambush?
Uh,
I'm not there.
What are you planning?
Well, it would seem the priest is trying to break in.
I'm sorry, but what? That
He is-
bastard is trying to break into my lighthouse?
Can we all hear this conversation out of curiosity?
Yes, they are at the front door. You can hear it. You can see what Tsalia is doing.
How high up am I?
Except for
'Cause I'm
Vint.
at the
Vint
top.
can't see shit. Vint can't see shit. Vint can't hear shit.
I can see everything. Shut.
Yeah, I mean,
your
you
mouth.
can't see them. Fuck you.
What? Why do you think the priest is trying to break in?
Well, he's inscribed some runes of some description. He's placed magic on the door to be activated at a future date.
What kind of magic?
Knock.
Valor looks at the lightkeeper. I'm assuming you didn't know about this?
No, how could I have?
Crackly.
And is the priest the only magic user in town?
He thinks for a moment. I mean, I believe them. I believe so. I believe so.
That would make sense then.
And I would like to say, when Valor asks these questions, he's not accusing Tsalia of being wrong. He's just trying to make sure that they have, like, an accurate theory going. If that makes sense. He doesn't think Tsalia is wrong, but he wants to make sure that it isn't, like, it doesn't sound baseless. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes, it makes sense. Oh, hold on a second. I need to check something.
He used the wrong spell skill. Yeah, you got it perfectly right. Just wrong spell school.
Well, I
What?
was
Knock?
using a different spell from that.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't know of a different spell that can do that.
knock.
No, not knock. I mean the inscribing the runes.
Yeah. It's a little bit of world flair.
Fair enough. But maybe change it to abjuration since that's effectively part of glyph boarding.
Oh, yeah, I see a spell glyph. Yeah, you can. Okay. All right. Yeah, it would be a mix of abjuration and transmutation because
He's definitely
exploring something else.
Yeah.
They would probably be there in tandem.
I love glyph boarding. It allows me to make my favorite combination, demon mimes.
Ah, no.
You cannot stop me. It is not against the rules.
Anyways, moving on. Moving on. We were discussing the spell keepers in the town, correct?
Yes.
Oh shit. Motherfucker's at least a 5th level cleric. Oh boy.
So the lighthouse keeper definitely looks concerned, but he is willing to listen to whatever plan is about to be given.
Well, I say if he wants to break in, we let him and catch him in the act. He doesn't have a crystal anymore, so he might be a little bit more desperate than usual.
I mean, how are you supposed to know when he's coming?
I don't. I just put down a snare.
Can
Yep.
you explain a little more, please, Tsalia?
Maybe I said that wrong. Rewind just some.
Gift of gab.
Well, I don't know when he'll be coming, but I will be able to set up a trap at tonight, at very least, which, seeing as how his crystal is now gone, he might be looking for a replacement. And if he's as obsessive as he seems, I wouldn't say that's a bad guess.
Oh.
Actually, Is there any time you leave the lighthouse?
Well, I've been staying overnight recently, given the fact that I just got it back and I want to make sure everything is still tuned correctly and that nothing goes wrong with any of the mechanisms. I've been taking generally good care of this. Normally, when I do leave, I head out around, say, 9 to hit the pub, tavern, get a little bit of a drink, and then I head home. Yeah.
Your route wouldn't happen to go past the church, would it?
Not normally, but, sometimes when I'm tired, I will take a shortcut.
Well, if he thinks you're out, he might be more confident in his late night escapades.
Oh, I see. You want me to go past the church, make it look like I'm going to the pub,
Exactly.
and then you all stay here and you beat him up.
If you're
Well, if
If you-
he's more trouble than he's worth, then yes. Otherwise, we tie him up.
Right. All right. I think I'm willing to go along with this.
We will need access to your house just for this to work.
Yeah,
the
of course.
lighthouse.
Yes,
right?
of
The
course, of
lighthouse.
course. And he reaches inside, grabs off the wall, and palms a key into your hand, Tsalia. A spare key.
Well, who wants to catch a possible cultist?
He has concerned me ever since we had that first conversation with him.
If we catch him breaking into a house, he goes to jail.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
What's going on?
We're setting up a Scooby-Doo trap.
Oh, cool. I assume I would be involved. What the fuck exactly is going on?
So
I don't know. You're up at the top of the tower.
basically, Buzz, what's happening is, so we found out the lighthouse keeper hasn't left in a while, which is probably why the priest hasn't used the knock spell yet. So we're all going to stay inside of the lighthouse. The priest is going to pass by the church as if going to the pub to see if we can't lure the priest out to try and get into the lighthouse because he thinks the lighthouse keeper is gone.
Mhm.
So Tsalia is basically asking, who's ready to catch a supposed cultist?
I assume they would have fucking yelled up the lighthouse. Vint, get down here. And I will come down.
Wait, hold up. Give me a second. How far is it?
40-ish.
Let's see it. Let's see it.
Give me a second. Can I heft myself about 10 feet up the lighthouse?
Sure.
I get about 10 feet up, and all Vint hears in his head is, Vint, get down here.
God, that you again?
I'll look up for a moment and then look down.
Valor is staring at you.
Oh,
It's like
me
this.
earlier.
It's like this lizard like hugging the fucking lighthouse, staring up at you.
What do you mean that I fuck with you out of here?
I heard a voice in my head earlier today.
Did it sound like mine?
And this is all happening mentally.
Oh.
Then probably not. I'm bad at voices.
Fuck. Who the fuck? I'll climb down the stairs.
Coffee, are you getting enjoyment out of this?
God, is that you again? God, is that you again?
Coffee doesn't know infernal or anything, does he?
Oh God. Oh, Jesus.
Well, Coffee knows English.
Wow. If only he knew infernal.
Mhm. What? I got 2 languages and Thieves' King. So 2.5 technically.
I
have-
know the most languages.
I think you got some magic items. Yeah, no, you have a fucking like some weird sphere thing that's giving you at least 1 or 2.
Possible background.
Yeah, I think half elves get 2 languages in addition to common, and then backgrounds can give you up to 2 languages as well. But that's a different game. Yeah, you get common, elven, and 1 other language. Alright. So we're fucking the priest?
Possibly. Possibly. Maybe. We don't know yet.
I have a spell, Snare. If he steps on it, he'll be basically harmless. For a little bit. Unless
That's
he
nice.
starts throwing spells.
That he'll probably do.
Well,
Let's get inside the fucking lighthouse so that he doesn't look outside and see people standing outside the lighthouse planning an ambush.
probably
good
a good
idea.
idea. We all head inside.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Tight squeeze.
So,
Ah!
y'all-
Sorry.
so, is there any further planning that you need for this?
Well, thinking about it, he does need to step on the snare, which means he does need to walk inside the lighthouse.
Put it right in front of the doorway. And we'll all hide.
I mean, yes, but some of us don't have the best stealth, including Tsalia.
I don't have the best stealth. I have the worst stealth.
Exactly. Where are the ones who can't stealth going to hide?
Valor, I wave my hands in front of your fucking eyes. How good's your vision?
It's like
Wait, how do you mean?
I'm basically asking your perception.
Oh.
it's decent.
Alright, I'll hand you the spyglass.
Cough,
You
cough,
got some
I have
weird
a +2
fucking-
cough cough.
So you'll stay up top and then come rushing. You'll fucking use your weird mind shit and let us know he's coming. That way, your being quiet is not as difficult on making this work. Actually, fuck it. I'll stay up there with you. It's a 40-foot drop, right? So give me back the fucking spyglass. I'm staying up there.
I got a DM from Sparky.
Uh-oh.
Well, that could technically work. Sparky's like, remember, Fane has really good perception because of his blind sense, and I went, can he see through a telescope? I think not. But no.
Yes, let us put Fane on lookout duty.
I mean, technically speaking, if we put Sparky did have a better point. If we did put Fane next to the door, he has a blind sense, which means he can tell who's behind the door.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. But like that goes out to 30, 60 feet.
30
20?
feet, I'm pretty sure.
30. Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay. How big is the lighthouse from door to other side of building?
About 30.
Okay, so he can stand on the opposite side of the fucking thing and still sense the other side of the door.
Just barely.
I gotta fucking... I'm gonna be... Yeah. So... Yeah, there we go.
How good is Azure's stealth?
You got a good dex, so I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you fucking good.
I've got a -2 in disadvantage.
You're staying up here.
I have a +3, but I also have invisibility.
Yeah.
Don't you have a 7 in strength, Coffee? Not. Oh, okay. Like.
Yeah, Valor's just gonna make sure he isn't like visible from the door and basically lay down and not move. Okay, he's not gonna lay down, but he's just gonna make sure he's not visible and he's not gonna move.
And then he sneezes.
So, Valor is going to be downstairs then?
No, Valor is going to be upstairs, make sure that he isn't visible in any way, shape, or form because they have a little bit of time, and then not move.
Alright.
Since Vint's up there with him, unless Vint decides to, like, move or he hears Vint rushing downstairs, he's not moving.
Winston,
Yeah, what's up?
you come here. You're coming up with us.
Okay. And he falls.
Alright, so we've got 3 people downstairs, 3 people upstairs.
Yes.
Alright.
So you're all staying?
Yep. Now, you two. When I tell you to jump off the building, I expect you to not hesitate.
Like, from the outside?
Yes, we jump from the top of the building down towards the door.
Fucking Winston leans over the edge and so like 5 times. I mean, yeah, okay.
That's going to hurt.
Probably.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I've used this weird wind magic shit before.
Kind
I
of
think I
weird
got it
wind
like
magic.
fucking sometime last week or something. The week before? Fucking, I don't know, man.
What is it?
It's Featherfall.
Oh, okay. Understandable.
Out of game, it's Featherfall. In game, some weird wind magic.
Fuller kind of just nods. All right, I'll trust you.
So You guys got about 9 hours left in the day, and around, let's say, 7 hours, 6 hours before the lighthouse keeper heads out.
Let's make sure that he's going to head out and then go to the inn instead of wherever the hell else he's going to go, because we've got 2 people there to help
Mhm.
protect him.
Okay. Yeah,
Just
he will take note of that. So, is there
Tsalia
anything
is going to rest to finally overcome her nausea.
Yeah, you do need that. Is there anything else anyone else like to do?
I want to
Before he
return to
leaves.
looking at the church and keeping my eye out the
Okay.
whole fucking time.
Let me check a couple of documents real quick.
What the fuck can Valor do? And these
Not-
other 2 guys.
Not attack twice, which makes me sad.
2 more levels.
2 more
more levels.
levels. 2 more levels.
2 more levels, and you as a player go from attacking 3 times to attacking 6 times.
You know, I've had a
No, wait.
strange theory.
3 more levels, because those 2 are going to be a level behind. Yes. Sorry.
Mr. Priest does not like Godwoken.
He does not. He does not like the God Chosen, no.
God chosen. Godwoken fucking damn you, Divinity! Anyway, there was a corrupting influence from the crystal. What if, in a strange sense, he's a god chosen of something else, per se?
Definitely want to stab him.
Valor gets a very far away look, remembering the feeling of absolute terror from when we shattered this thing, and does not respond.
It might explain why he sees gods chosen as followers of demons.
I have a question.
Yes.
Has Valor run into other clergy who share the same outlook?
Is that standard?
Yeah, is this standard in my like? Is this very uncommon?
It's very much on the extreme end, but there have been some clergy, especially out in like the sticks, who kind of scoff at the idea of God chosen and have the belief that the clergy is the end all be all of the God's word. But again, this is a very extreme, very self-righteous kind of belief that like no clergy you've ever met before have ever said, like, gone as far as to say God chosen are those of demons.
Okay, so I've seen those that scoff at the idea. So the farther out I've gone from big city centers, the more they've been like, nah, the clergy are better than that. But he specifically is really weird in the fact that he thinks we're worshippers of demons and he wants to murder us. I'm also looking for the murder point. Has anyone else stated they would like to execute the God chosen?
No, they have not.
Okay.
So, like, this guy is like a fucking needle in a haystack. We're talking about the sticks. Mirestone is on the big old overworld map. This is not exactly the sticks. And then, so he is one of the most extreme point of views that tends to be in the sticks in a decently populated area.
He's more extreme than the extreme viewpoints of the sticks.
Yes, he's more extreme than them, and also in one of the more populated areas that could even slightly be considered the sticks.
Boy, that's some cultish behavior, don't you think?
Yeah.
I worry about the rest of his followers.
Okay. So, you guys aren't really doing much while you wait.
No.
You just kind of pass the time. I imagine getting a rest in, healing yourself up. Blah, 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 blah.
Would we be able to long rest?
Fucking 8 hours. You said there were 9 hours.
Yeah, but remember, he is leaving. The lighthouse keeper is leaving around like 6 hours or so.
I would like to try and gain the rest of my hit point. Wait, are we taking a short rest?
Absolutely. There's more than enough.
Cool, I'm second winding before I take a short rest.
Roll me your hit points.
Is there any point to do that? Don't you add your Constitution modifier? Or is it just your level?
Well, because he gets second wind back when he on a short rest.
Yeah, I'm just trying to determine like what the
It's
fuck
a
is the
D10 plus
maximum-
level.
Okay.
It's a
I was
D10
wa- I
plus
was-
level. We're level 3, and I'm missing 6 hit points.
So you need at least 3.
Yes.
You've got a fucking 80% chance of success.
And he succeeds.
I succeed. I'm back to full HP.
Oh,
So
I'll fucking roll a hit die for myself.
let me confirm. It is Winston, Vint, and Valor up at the top.
Fuck me. Yes.
Yes.
All right.
You can roll more hit dice if you need.
For 3 hit points. Fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, you'll get them back.
You know what? I'm not even gonna bother. The minimum is all I need.
Okay, but I kind of want to see what you would have rolled.
I kind of do too.
Same.
Maximum. Yay! Yay!
Fuck me.
All right. So, nighttime rolls around. The lightkeeper probably has brought you guys some food, probably mostly fish meals, right? And at least some ale. But Tsalia's got the wine, so Tsalia doesn't care. And then at some point,
1.5 bottles of wine.
he wanders off and heads to the tavern, following Passon Church.
Immediately as he's leaving, how long do you think it would take for him to go to technically quote unquote reach the tavern?
Assuming that's 4 times the distance.
I want to cast Snare, and I'm wondering if I should just cast it, or ritual cast?
You have time to ritual cast.
Okay.
Because once the hour passes, Azure, you're keeping watch downstairs, correct? Okay. How are you keeping watch is my big question. Just give me a stealth.
He's a quiet boy doing quiet things. Oh, that's good shit.
Okay. All right. Azure, give me a perception check.
I'm also keeping watch, but from up top, and I'm laying on belly to minimize how much I can be seen.
Winston and Valor like sitting on the stairs.
Well, with or without the perception check, you would eventually notice a figure moving down the bridge. And if you would let me fucking move him, you would get up to here. And then you would see him stop. And it's hard. But you think he's talking to something. Or someone. Himself, the air, just talking. You can barely see his lips moving. And then he waves his hand, raises it up, and a gateway appears in the air before him.
Oh, shit.
And he walks through. And Vint, Winston, and Valor, I need you all to make me a wisdom save.
What the fuck?
As a gateway opens up behind you, and a foot steps down, and the echo seems intense.
I'm back.
Far more intense
Wisdom
than
save.
anything before.
Motherfucker
Wait,
knows
wisdom save?
gates.
No, it's
no.
It's
Dimension door.
Dimension door. Dimension door.
Wait,
Alright,
what's
but
going on? I'm so confused.
Winston and Valor need a wisdom save as all the sound around you vanishes. The only sound you can hear is the footsteps of the priest as he exits a dimension door behind you, and his voice echoes in your mind. You are in my way.
So this is Winston's.
He does live up here.
Okay.
Winston succeeds.
Winston was half asleep, and that just woke him up.
Basically.
I rolled an 11.
As those words echo out, Vint and Valor,
Oh man.
you look up as the gate slams shut. And in its wake, those hateful eyes burn into you, petrifying you with fear once more. You drop your weapons. And Winston launches to his feet.
Winston, help.
And that's where we'll end this session.
Oh, good.
What?
I
Motherfucker.
knew it.
It is 7.